Alright, so to get started, we're going to work on the grip of the bat. I know it sounds very basic, but there's a lot that goes on about the grip, how to hold the bat, how to position the bat. So there's so much information that we can provide just on this basic, very little basic thing. And basically the grip of the bat will enable batsmen towards the success of the game. If they are gripping the bat wrongly or anything like that, they will limit themselves. So I'm just going to go through the grip of the bat. So all you need now is just gloves and a bat. If you don't have it, then you don't have to use gloves if you don't want to, but preferably having a bat with you will be great. So you can pause this video while you get your things and then just go with me as I go through the demonstration of the bat. All right, so just to put the gloves on, nice and easy. Okay, so this will be demonstrated towards right-handed batsmen. I know we have quite a few left-handed batsmen. If you are left-handed batsman, then everything will be vice versa. So if I'm holding my right hand at the bottom and my left hand at the top, then it will be your right hand at the top and your left hand at the bottom if you're left-handed batsman. All right, so the grip of the bat, very basic. So let's just quickly go through the bat. So here's your handle, grip. In front you'll have your contact zone. Here's the back of the bat, so we'll talk about the ridge and then also the edges and then the toe. So that's your basic layout of the bat. So to start off with, you will take your left hand and you'll hold the top part of the bat. Okay, we've noticed quite a lot that the students would hold their hands quite closely to each other when they're batting. I know some of the bats might be big, so their hands are very small, so they prefer having their hands together, so I'll talk about that right now. So left hand at the top, all right? You will see that as you're batting, in between your index finger and your thumb, there's stitching. So we use the stitching here to guide us with the ridge of the bat. So the ridge and the middle parts of your index finger and your thumb has to run down the middle ridge of the bat, so to ensure that the bat stays flat. All right. The moment your hand is over or inwards, so let's say if I hold it over and I correct it, my bat will be open. If it's too inwards and I correct it, my bat will be closed. So we want to try and maintain a flat surface of the bat, so it's not open and it's not closed. All right, next step, your right hand. So a lot of common mistakes that we're dealing with will be students who hold the bat tightly with both hands. So they grip the bat tightly with the right hand, with the left hand, and it creates a lot of instability and it creates a lot of discomfort, if I can put it like that. So your left hand at the top and your right hand, this is a very crucial part. And as you grip the bat, please just hold your hand out like this. So you have your thumb, your index finger, and your middle finger. Okay, so those are the three fingers that will basically grip the bottom part of the handle. All right, so you want to create some form of space here in your palm so that your palm is not gripping the bat. So the reason why we don't want that to happen is that while holding the bat, you can really feel great discomfort. Even if you go through the shots, it feels like your elbow, while you're holding the bat, is coming in a very unnatural position. All right, so your bottom hand should be loose. I know there's a batsman called Adam Gilchrist. He used to bat with the stress ball. He used to cut up a stress ball in half and he'd put it inside his gloves. So therefore, he prevented himself from holding the bat too tightly with the bottom hand, and that's a really good thing to try and do. If you can take a stress ball, small ball, don't take anything too big, because obviously that's going to be very unnatural. But just to start out with, so you do not hold the bat too tightly with your bottom hand. Okay, so your three fingers, your thumb, your index finger, and your middle finger, those are the three fingers that hold the bat. Okay, your ring finger and your pinky basically just sits there. You don't squeeze down on it, you don't hold it too tightly. So this will be the basic grip of holding the bat. So I'm just going to come closer so you can see. All right, and the reason why we want to do this with gloves is because gloves take a lot more space on the grip. If you take your hands, it will feel different. So normally in a cricket match you're playing with gloves. So taking your grip, holding the bat nice and steady, so that in this position you're standing and you don't feel any discomfort. So you are able to play all over. So you're not limited to playing one side. So if you're holding the bat too tightly with both hands, you feel more comfortable playing on the left side. That's also probably why a lot of our students play across their bodies, because their bottom hand is too tight. But if their bottom hand is loose, then they're able to play more vertical and covering shots on the offside, straight, and on the leg side. All right. So that's basically the grip of the bat. So try and practice it. Just get over it. Just hold the bat nicely. And once you start feeling the comfort, you will start noticing that all the shots that you might have struggled with playing on the offside will come more naturally to you. All right. But if you're holding it too tightly with both hands, you're struggling to play onto the offside. And then what I wanted to cover also, the positioning of the hands. So it all comes down to comfort for any batsman. So if a batsman prefers to hold his hands together, or if he's holding his hands at the top of the hand or at the bottom of the handle, or he has a wide separated grip, that's fine, as long as he or she gets results. That's the biggest thing that comes down to it. If they don't get any results while they're batting, obviously there's something that we need to try and improve on. There's something that we need to look at, and we start out from the grip of the bat without even having to focus on the stance or the positioning of the shoulders or anything like that. We start out with how you're holding the bat. All right. So if the bat is too open, or if it's too closed, or if it's pointing out too far away from you, or if it's going down leg. So all those factors play a very big role towards the success of a batsman and his or her innings. So this is just a basic layout. I know there are many different ways of holding the bats, many different batsmen out there. Just to give an example, Graham Pollock used to hold the bat like this. So he used to hold his front hand on the bat like that, with the handle touching his forearm. So he'd bat with his grip looking like that. Okay, let me just correct it. That's how you bat. That's the old ways of how they used to hold the bat. Then you have Shaun Pollock. He had a video the other day where he basically said that when he was batting, he used to hold his top hand across. So instead of holding it like this, the way we basically teach, they hold it across. Reason for that being, so when they are batting, he gets an extension through the shot. All right. But same thing with Graham Pollock when he used to be playing cricket. He used to hold the bat like this, and therefore it allowed him to get a good extension in the shot. Right, so that's basically the only reasons. Obviously, time has gone by. A lot of different methods and techniques has been introduced. So therefore, we've decided, we're going to stick with this technique. It really creates power. Many batsmen out there are batting like this, especially with the bottom hand, holding it loosely. AB de Villiers created a video quite a while ago where he actually really emphasized on the bottom hand. He talked about only using his thumb and his index finger holding the bats at the bottom, and his top hand would be tight. Okay, so yeah, that's also something that I didn't mention. Your top hand must be tight, must be locked. Okay, you can't have a flimsy wrist, because therefore with a strong top hand you have more control, more power in your shots. But if you have a weak top hand and it's flimsy and it's breaking or anything like that, then it will have a detrimental effect on the results of your batting. Like I said, your bottom hand nice and open, thumb coming across. Same concept. If you look at my glove, I use this bottom ridge here, this part of my glove, to indicate where to position it. So if I position it, as you can see, I take that bottom part of my glove and it's running down the middle of the bat. And if I hold it like that, you can see my bat is nice and flat, so it's not too closed and it's also not too open. So I'm hoping that you learned something out of this video. Please send me some feedback. If you notice that your son is holding the grip of the bat wrong, please correct it as soon as possible, and then start getting a positive habit, so they're not stuck with their old routine of holding the bat too tightly with both hands. So with any sports, with tennis, with golf, there's always a special technique on how to hold, the golf club or the tennis racket, a cricket bat. So there's many different ways. But like I said, this is the new, informed, improved way to hold the bat. Like I said, if your son is getting results and if he's getting runs and if he's scoring good games, there's no reason to change anything because it works. But if it doesn't and there's something wrong and he's limiting himself from covering all the areas on the game, because obviously the cricket field is round, it's big, so there's loads of scoring zones. But if he's coming across his body most of the time while he's playing, it just basically means that his bottom end is holding the bat too tightly, and therefore he's got a natural, how can I say, natural way of just coming across himself instead of trying to play in a comfortable way away from him, nice and straight on the leg side, as convenient as possible. All right, so I want some feedback. Please provide me some feedback so I can just do some analysis and get going. Thank you. Bye.